guess what this is? This is Mabo Harusame. Have you ever heard of Mapo tofu or Mabo tofu? Which is like, it's a Chinese dish, but it's been made popular in Japan, especially by one of the original Iron Chefs, Tetsujin, or chef, Iron Chef Chen. Was it Chen Kenichi or Chef Chen Kenichi Ken? And he had a Chinese restaurant. His father introduced Mapo tofu into Japan, and they made it kind of Japanesey by adding ketchup to it. Made it a little bit sweeter. Let's get cooking. Typically when I cook, so Mabo tofu is usually served with rice, but now you can also get Mabo tofu and have it served with vermicelli or rice noodles. And this particular one is bean thread and Mabo sauce with vegetables, and it's called Mabo Harusame. It just takes 5 minutes to cook. It's instant, and we're gonna give it a try tonight and see how it works, see how it tastes. Okay, here we are. So this is Himesama's kitchen, and we're here doing another COVID. We're doing another COVID cook-up. What do you want to do? Hang on a second. So I had to stop the video because she does not want to be in the video. She actually likes to be behind the camera and take videos of other people, but not of herself. Anyways, here we are. I did a quick little intro of what I wanted to do. This is the Mabo Harusame, and if you're familiar with the famous Chinese dish called Mabo tofu, and so over the years they've come out with Mabo Harusame, and now they have an instant version, and this has been available for a long time, but it's the first time that I have seen it here in Canada. So let's go try and make this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jazz it up a little bit by adding some of the ingredients that I usually like to add in my Mabo tofu or some of my Chinese dishes. So, and we're also going to basically use just ingredients that I just have in the kitchen. So, because this is kind of like a COVID kind of cookout, home cooking cookout, we're just using some of the ingredients that we have because not everybody can always go shopping at their leisure. Just because we should work on social distancing and staying at home and keeping ourselves safe from others. What I'm going to add to it to sort of make it my own dish is I've got some ground beef, maybe like a half a cup of ground beef. I've got some Japanese green onions, negi. I've got a few Japanese dried shiitake mushrooms, and I've re-moistened them. And I love the Japanese shiitake mushrooms, or the Chinese shiitake mushrooms, because it has that nice, that unique texture that only mushrooms seem to have. Some people don't like it. And I've got this. Check that out. Do you know what that is? That is a white fungus. It's a mushroom. And I love it in a lot of dishes, a lot of Chinese dishes, but I'm going to also be incorporating it in some of my Japanese dishes, like my hot pots and stuff like that. I love this. Let's get cooking. Okay. First, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to break this up into little just bite-sized pieces. Don't really need to use your knife. You can just use your hands to sort of break it apart. Here, we'll just break this up into little bite-sized pieces. Some people might want to cut off this little bit here, this dark bit that's kind of like the root of the vegetable, the center of the vegetable, but I don't mind it. I don't like to waste too much ingredients here. So I've got that put aside. Now for the mushrooms, they are soaked. Pour out the water. Some people like to keep that juice because it's got extra flavor. And I'm going to just chop it up. Chop off the little rough nub at the end, you know, the little bottom part, this part right there. Just chop that up, chop that off. Just slice this up a little bit. And I slice these up at about maybe ½ centimeter wide. Try and keep it fairly consistent. There. And these nubs you can dispose of, don't eat those. Then we have the negi. So the negi, what I'm going to actually do is slice it into quarters like this. and then that makes it a little bit smaller. Some people might like just to have the longer piece, the bigger, rounder pieces, but you know, this makes up for a nice garnish. And I could just put that in with the mushrooms because it'll all be fried up at the same time. And I tend to have a little bit more vegetable mixture with my harusame because I just like vegetables, and I like vegetables in my dishes, and I use a little bit less meat in my dishes as well. So, and I try not to do too much carbs, so I do a lot of green onions, mushrooms, carrots, broccoli, green vegetables and stuff like that, and a lot of fungus type stuff, like black fungus and stuff. That's good. The instructions say we need 2 cups of water. Yeah, 2 cups, which goes up to that line there. So I'll fill it up there. There's 2 cups of water right there. And all my ingredients are here ready to be put into the frying pan. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, we're back. Okay, so we've got the frying pan here. I'm gonna put the frying pan in here. I'm gonna put it on to like medium-high temperature. And it says, place the bean threads in a skillet or pot and pour water over it. Heat and loosen the bean threads with long chopsticks. I've got long chopsticks here. You know how long these chopsticks are? They're as long as my arm. Alright, so we'll put the bean threads. Let's open up the package here. Ooh, let's see what's inside. Look in there. Okay, now you have the sauce. And I've got the bean threads. Okay, so this is not going to be that much. So I'm going to probably have a much greater ratio of vegetables to the Mabo Harusame. So anyways, let's see how this works out. Got the heat on. Put the bean threads in here. Oh, first of all, before I do any of the cooking in the Mabo Harusame, I have to cook the meat. Drop the meat into the frying pan. Okay, so Mabo Harusame is best done with pork, but all I had was beef. So we're gonna use the beef. Woo! That popped. Oh my god. Just brown up the beef a little bit. And we'll throw in the mushrooms and the negi that I chopped up. There we go. Now when you're doing cooking, it's always good to have your vegetables prepped and put aside so that when you do your cooking, all you have to do is just plop it into the frying pan. It makes it for a much easier cooking experience, and you're so much more prepared when you have stuff done up in these little trays. So I went to the dollar store and just bought a whole bunch of these little bowls. Yeah. Now, the meat is pretty much cooked, and I'm going to throw this in to the frying pan next. Ready? Throw that in there. I'm going to put in the bean threads. And we'll just stick that in the middle there. Put in the 2 cups of water. Let that simmer a little bit. Now, the instructions say to use the long chopsticks. So we're going to do that. We're going to use the long chopsticks. Sugoi. Okay. Let's see how this works out. Okay, 2 cups of water is in here. I've got plenty of water. It's going to make for this nice soppy soup base. And then I guess once the noodles start to soften up, then I can add the sauce. Yeah, I can add the sauce. It's funny. The package it says sauce medium hot, and it says open here, which is very simple in English, And use scissors for easier opening. So, and you know the reason why? It's because if you tear this by hand, it may be crooked. If you use a pair of scissors, it makes it so much easier. But they do have the indentations on each side. Isn't that neat for Asian Japanese ingenuity? Okay, sauce is going in next. And the noodles are starting to get a little bit soft. Here we go. That's looking rather ravishing. My God. Now let's open the sauce. And we're going to do it by hand. Oh, did it work? Yeah, I did it. Okay, let's put the sauce in. Make sure to squeeze it all out. We want all that sauce to come out. And use the chopsticks. There we go. And that sauce is in there. And it's going to mix up. It's interesting. This is the first time I've actually made this dish. But doesn't look like there's enough sauce to water ratio. But we'll see how it is. It says it's going to be quite soupy. So I don't quite understand that. But I guess when you let it simmer and cool down a little bit, it's going to thicken up. That's what I'm assuming. That's what I think anyways. It's boiling and bubbling away. This is another dish from my Coven. Yeah. That does smell good though. Yeah, can you see that? And now we got to plate it. So, gotta find a plate. Be right back.
Milliliter. Canada 250 milliliter. So,
okay. I just found out something. Japanese measurement for 2 cups is different than...
1 cup.
But it says US 2 cups.
Yeah, US and Canada is same. 1 cup is US and Canada, 1 cup is 250 milliliter. Japan is 200 milliliter.
But the package says US 2 cups.
Really?
Yeah, it says approximately 2 US cups. 420 milliliters. So 210 milliliters of water. And I put in 2 cups. Oh, maybe just a little bit too much?
Too much.
No, it's close.
80 milliliter.
So 480 milliliters, I put in about 60 milliliters of water too much.
420.
I'm not good with numbers. I fail math. An Asian girl failing math? Impossible, right? Next week's version is going to be the handmade one, made basically almost from scratch. The only difference is we're not going to be using that bag of sauce, and we're going to be using our own mixture, which is a little bit of tobanchan and miso paste and ginger and stuff like that. And chilies. Doesn't hurt, right? Okay, let's give it a try. Okay, we're going to have to do the taste test. I put a little bit too much water in there. So it's a little bit light in taste. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cheat here a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of tobanchan paste to spike it up a little bit because it's a little bit light on flavor. So a little bit of this in there. Oh, garlic black bean sauce. That's a good idea. A little bit of that in there. Just a tiny little bit for flavor. We're going to add some miso in here. So this is really... just a little half teaspoonful of each, you know, in there. Where's my chopsticks? And stir it up a bit there. I did a little bit of the black bean sauce, black bean and garlic sauce. I did a little bit of the tobanchan sauce there, and a little bit of miso paste. Doesn't matter which miso paste you want to use, unless you're a perfectionist. Much better. Much better. And that's it. Ta-da! Instant Mabo Harusame, which is a spin-off from Mabo Tofu. I forgot to put the tofu in. Oh my god! I don't need it. So, let's eat. I hope you enjoy it. Well, give it a try. If you want to find that package of the instant Mabo Tofu, you can go to Fujiya or Izumiya. Both of them will have it. And I think maybe even some Chinese supermarkets like, what's it called? Like TNT would have it in Canada. But that's what you're looking for. Give it a try. It's 1 person portion. And we'll see you next time. So for now, bye-bye from Himesama's kitchen. Ta-ta!